Hi guys, it's me Iceberg, and in today's video I'm gonna review the brand new Kiwi Ears Cadenza II for $50 with a single DD driver. While the Cadenza OG with its kinda usual beryllium DD was a real hit for around $35, the second came out with a 10mm titanium DD and an upgraded Karsto system for extra sub-bass response. Sure, the price tag is up to about $50, but let's be honest and figure out if the second version is better than the OG or the first one is still a better deal. Let's go. Alright, the Cadenza 2 comes in a tiny box with a pink to purple gradient where we can see an image of the shells on the front along with the model name and logo. On the side there is a brief specifications with pretty low impedance and sensitivity, so it's basically a plug-and-play device. And on the back you'll find the information about the manufacturer, like usual. Inside the box we get the Cadenza 2 shells, of course, along with the 2-pin cable with a 3.5 jack, 6 pairs of silicone ear tips with a narrow and wide bore in 3 sizes, and a small manual. There is no case, no model or cable, but hey, these are $50 IEMs, so we should expect some compromises. Speaking of the cable, this is 4-core OFC cable with a clear R and L 2-pin connections, metal fittings, and a 3.5mm plug. To the touch it feels really soft, light, and flexible that never get entangled or creating a microphone effect. I mean, with this one, you just plug in the shells and forget about the cable at all, which is essentially the best praise. As for the ear tips, I'll be brief here. So we get 6 pairs of Kiwi Ears OM tips with the wide and narrow bores in 3 sizes. The main difference between them is the narrow ones focus more on the lower and lower mids, while the wide ones focus on the upper mid and treble ranges. For myself, I choose the narrow tips because they perfectly emphasize the sub and mid bass, especially with the new Karsto technology. While returning to the shells, we got a completely upgraded look, and here's the guys from Kiwi Ears raise the bar. While Cadenza OG and the others use regular resin, these ones got a composite body, which is obvious improvement in terms of durability. And you don't have to worry they'll suddenly break after a drop. The faceplates here are made of CNC aluminum and have an elegant pattern on them, with the Kiwi Ears slightly below. By the way, Cadenza 2 is available in grey and blue, so everyone can choose their favorite color. On the outside we find the nozzle that is quite tall and 6mm wide, with a mesh and a damper foam inside, that kinda muffle the sound. Also next to the nozzle we see a single vent, and a few more on the top, so this should be well ventilated. And there is slightly recessed 2-pin connector on the side. Now let's talk about the fit and comfort, and here Kiwi Ears aim to provide long-term enjoyment for everyone, and yeah, they nail it. First off, these are small shells, lighter than 5 grams each, with a smooth, streamlined shape inside, and with a perfect nozzle angle. All of this creates a super nice and comfy fit that's pretty deep and secure, so listening for a long time is no problem here. And even after spending half of day with them, I didn't feel any discomfort, redness or pressure, so I literally didn't wanna take them off. Keep in mind that I have small ears and it's quite difficult for me to find comfy shells, but these ones fit me like a glove. And if you have medium or large ears, I can easily recommend them, and you also shouldn't expect any problems with fit either, because it works for everyone. As for isolation, here it's average, so it will be sufficient for home listening or in moderately noisy environment, but it won't block out the surrounding noise from the street, traffic or any louder places. And before getting into the sound, I would like to say I'll be using Cadenza 2 with the Kiwi Ears AD1 portable DAC, which, let's be honest, isn't necessary here, but a pretty good upgrade to reveal their full potential. Well, basically, this is entry-level portable Type-C DAC for just $10 with the KTO2H2O chip. This will give a noticeable improvement over direct connection to the smartphone or PC and will be a great replacement for the default Apple DAC, with a slightly more audiophile approach. Moving on to the sound of the Cadenza 2, these are mild V-shaped IEMs with a focus on the sub-bass thanks to the Cars 2.0 technology, which boosts the sub-bass shelf by 8 dB, and a slight focus on the upper treble, somewhere around 12 kHz, which adds some treble extension. Also, to avoid sounding boring, there is a focus on the lower mid-range, giving male vocals more body and fullness, so these are best suited for vocal-oriented music. Among the entire budget Kiwi Ears lineup, this model shows a cleaner and transparent tuning, without any wow or fun aspect, which is appealing in its own way, but in the longer-term perspective. Speaking in general, Cadenza 2 are warm neutral, perfectly balanced IEMs with tonal coherence, clarity and natural timbre, without the feeling like the bass is trying to overwhelm you or fill your ears with a sparkling treble. Instead, there is a feeling of calm confidence and purity, like you're listening to a polished sound, rather than the raw recordings. Well, let's talk about the bass, and first, I would like to mention Cars 2.0 or Kiwi Acoustic Resonance System, which optimizes airflow control through a network of tubes, creating a powerful sub-bass shelf, and yeah, it really works. So the sub-bass here come across as viscous, fast and tactile, very similar to BA or planar sub, which really goes very low and pushes with its authority. It adds weight to the tracks, but at the same time well controlled and focused, so the impact is quite clear and the decay is smooth without a tail. While it's not the most aggressive sub in the Kiwi Ears lineup, it's very voluminous, giving the feeling of the mini subwoofer in the ears. The mid-bass here is more modest, but that doesn't make it secondary. It's punchy, wagey, very dense like a sub, but less voluminous. The drum beat is dense, impactful, with excellent texture and aftertaste, but without any fatness or meatiness, and the bass guitar in rock sound dense, muscular, with clear notes and not blurred at all. What's cool is the precise cutoff at 200 Hz, and thanks to this, the mid-bass doesn't get into the lower mids, so it doesn't create any rumbling, and this is key point here. Overall, the mid-bass here is a case of quality over the quantity, where it's not aggressive but refined, and if you wanna more, I would recommend narrow bore tips, and yeah, it will get stronger. As for the mids, they are musical, clear, transparent and full-bodied at the same time. Here Kiwi Ears has made a subtle boost in the lower mids and a slight rise in upper mids to add warmth, fullness and forward presence to the vocals, but without aggressive peaks that often make the sound shooty or fatiguing. So the lower mids here get body and weight. Male vocals get the right depth and rawness, but not thin, not hollow. On baritone or bass male vocals, this voice sounds full with chest resonance, creating a feeling of intimacy, and instruments such as guitar, saxophone and bass guitar all have a rich, natural timbre, without artificial coloration. In the upper mids, the Cadenza 2 shines especially bright. Vocals in general come forward, but without shooting or aggressions, so female vocals are sweet, lush and emotional, while the male ones sound more aesthetic and articulated. Instruments in this region sound natural, airy, with excellent microdynamics and without the typical harmon bloat that makes the mids overloaded, so the tuning remains neutral leaning with a warm bias. If you listen to a lot of jazz, soul, rock and pop with the vocals, the mid-range here simply shines. It makes everything else sound better. The treble in Cadenza 2 is smooth, refined, natural and airy, but without excessive brightness or aggression. Where Kiwi Ears adjusted the peaks, makes the decay smoother and carefully added some air to the upper treble. Here there are no typical budget problems with sibilance, grit, metallic taste or harshness, and instead we get controlled sparkle with good extension, which gives a feeling of air and openness, but doesn't hurt the ears even during long listening sessions. So the treble here is fatigue free and one of key factors in why these are so versatile and enjoyable for hours. In terms of treble quantity, they are not super energetic or sparkly like some bright sets, but rather balanced and tasteful, which is ideal for treble sensitive people. However, for those who like ultra detailed highs, they may seem a little polite or restrained, but with a few tweaks with the EQ or whiteboard tips, it's easy to add more air if you wanna, of course. The Soundstage in Cadenza II is wide-leaning, with a good width, where the instruments are not crowded in the center, but spread out to the sides, then the decent depth, where vocals and lead instruments sit in the front, bass and backing vocals a little further back, and reverse with the echoes is in the background, with a decent height, where you get a feeling of vertical space, but not the effect of complete holographic space like in more expensive models. Now about the separation, which is good here, but not outstanding, where the sound don't merge into the mush and each takes its place. But on complex, multi-layered tracks, there may be some minor issues, which is normal for a budget single DD. However, the imaging here is very nice, giving you a clear understanding of where each instrument is coming from. This makes the Cadenza II an excellent choice not only for music, but also for gaming. Footsteps in CS or ambient sound in RPGs, everything stays in its right place. Okay, let's compare these with the Cadenza OG to see if you should upgrade or the original is still the budget king. So the Cadenza OG is a $35 beryllium DD IEMs with a classic fun, warm and slightly V-shaped sound, but with a more noticeable mid-bass punch that make almost any tracks energetic and pleasant to the ear. The Cadenza II is more mature, refined, balanced IEM with a slightly warmth that is cleaner, more technical, more natural, but slightly calmer and less explosive. It doesn't try to make you rock out to every track, but simply makes the sound just right and fatigue-free for long listening sessions. Overall, the Cadenza II is an evolution, of course, which makes the sound more modern and technical while retaining its musicality. However, if you have the Cadenza OG and are happy with it, I wouldn't recommend you to upgrade, but if you want the best of everything, then the Cadenza II is definitely worth it. Comparing it to the Kiwi Ears Belle, this is $30 dynamic DLC driver, which is a warm, musical, bass-oriented option with a mild V-shaped tuning. The sound in Belle is energetic, musical, tireless, more fun and enjoyable for everyday listening, especially at high volumes. And the representation is laid back, warm, enveloping, with an emphasis on bass and mids, but less technical. This is the perfect chill-out IEMs for those who want the bass comfort, warm vocals, and a smooth treble without stress, especially in rock, rap, EDM, and hip-hop, where you just want to vibe and feel the emotion without analyzing them. The Cadenza II, on the other hand, is more balanced, with a slight warmth, cleaner, more technical, and more versatile, but a little calmer and more mature. You can really feel the $20 difference here in the technicality and control, especially when it comes to more precise bass. Sure, in terms of raw bass power, the Belle is still ahead, but otherwise, if you're looking for more control, naturalness, and overall technicality, the Cadenza II will definitely give you more. Guys, in conclusion, I was genuinely impressed by the Cadenza II. If they were $200 IEMs, I might have explored them a little deeper and found a couple of nuances, but for $50, I found only positive emotions and full praise. Kiwi Ears really did a fantastic job with the Cadenza II. They took the popular Cadenza model, listened to the feedback from the community, and released an improved version that is worth every penny. Yeah, the price increased by $15, but for the money, you get better materials, excellent build quality, and most importantly, solid, mature, and well-balanced IEMs that don't try to impress you with its wow factors, but simply do their job damn well. Now the Cadenza 2 will be my top recommendation for those who are looking for something quality but don't wanna spend a lot of money, and for the beginners who wanna try the proper sound without extra compromises. They set the standard for what the budget segment should offer in 2026, and I'm confident they will hold that bar for a long time to come. In the end, my final rating is 9 out of 10 for this price, and I recommend these IEMs without any hesitations. This is one of the best ways to spend $50 in the world of audio right now. And if you're looking for musical, clean, natural sound for long term, then this is the great choice. But if you're a bass head or looking for a wow effect, you might wanna consider the Belle or other models. Many thanks to the Kiwi Ears team for making this review possible, and to you guys for watching it. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this review, and subscribe for more. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This was Iceberg, take care and bye.